Yeah,
Yes.
that would be a month. If you want to
How are you today, Mr. Bartles?
All right. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Now we sat down. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. Could we have approval of the minutes and the town clerk report? We have two sets of minutes from the workshop meeting on Monday and from the last meeting in September.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Approval of the bills?
We have general bills number 17100 to 17112 and number 17114 to 17119. Highway bills number 17120 to 17141. And Pine Plains Water Improvement Area bills number 2895 to 2897.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Sarah's not going to be here tonight. Stan had surgery and is out and doing really well. So, just so that everybody can sigh with relief on that. The supervisor's statement. This past month, we worked on two major projects, the comprehensive plan update and the 2020 budget. The preliminary budget was approved for presentation to the town clerk, and I have it, technically I have it all right here. So that is the proposed preliminary budget, and that will sit here, and you can come and read copies of it here at Town Hall. We need to set a date for the public hearing tonight for this. It has to be before Election Day. Or we can get an extension to the 14th, but not after that. Comments on the comp plan update have now been gathered and are under examination by the board. These will then be passed on to the planners for inclusion in the plan. I've been participating in the Land Use Law Center's Forum on Affordable Housing down at Pace University and will continue to do so all month. The biggest lesson here is that if Pine Plains wants any kind of new housing, which would lower our property taxes, or any kind of new businesses, which would lower our property taxes, we need infrastructure. These things are linked. Developers won't even consider building here if we don't have a sewer or central septic system, and I'm talking about in the center of the hamlet. As regards small businesses in the business district, it takes an enormous amount of land, space, and money to build your own septic system, adequate enough to pass the new Board of Health rules. So a central system is essential to business growth here. Stay tuned as we investigate all this in the coming months for our sewer feasibility study. If we can do the work of designating a sewer district early on, should we decide to go ahead and apply for grants to build a system, we will be far ahead in the process. The state and the county are on top of this with a lot of grant opportunities right now, but I don't trust that this is going to last forever. Drew and I have been working on a simple flow chart for understanding the process for building in Pine Plains, which will be up on our website very soon. Greg Pulver and I have been working together to designate Pine Plains as a site for hometown heroes, a display of flags commemorating important veterans who grew up here. One of them will be Shannon Kent, in whose honor the House of Representatives voted today to name our post office. Thank you, Steve and Mary Smith, for raising such an incredible daughter and hometown hero. Finally, I want to thank Bobby Lee Kouse and Vinnie Parliament for their dedication to Pine Plains. Bob gets up in the middle of the night whenever we have a problem in a building or grounds at that hour, and it happens fairly frequently. And Vinnie spearheaded the recycling of the metal items we found at 8 North Main, which means a lot less junk will be left in a landfill somewhere. I really appreciate their ideas and their vigilance and for putting up with my texts. Now we will open to public comment.
Bob Cows, a different Bob Cows, not related.
Yes, sir.
Not related. I may have discovered recently a hole in your zoning. I get coffee every day in the Spud Shack. And I was in there the other day and he approached me with a letter that he received from Drew, who was trying to do his job, no problem there. And he asked me to read the letter and see if I had any comments about it. And I read the letter, and your zoning is for property and businesses. I told him my opinion was he was not in violation of your zoning. He has a flag on his legally registered truck, which is being driven, and it's parked legally on the state highway. He can have a flag on that truck and drive it all over town and park it where he wants to, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that's you.
I don't think there's a violation.
Our code officer begs to differ. But thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't think you, unless he's in violation of the vehicle and traffic law, he's not in violation, because he can have all the advertisements on his truck that he wants. He can drive all around town. There's another guy that drives around town. He has American flag on the back of his truck. I don't think you can bother him, as long as he's not in violation of V&T law. But
Okay.
he did have a question also about across the street from him, the old movie theater. There are pennants on the front of that. That may be a violation of your zoning.
All right, thank you, Bob. Anyone else? All right. The first presentation of the evening is by Dale Mitchell. Oh, there you are, right in front of me. Hi.
I just want to thank you and the board for this working draft that you gave me, and I use primarily, along with the studies done by Matt and Rory, to prepare this plan. I'm going to give each of you a copy of this.
Thank you.
What it lacks in being professional with handwritten, it makes up with the last page, because the last page is very colorful. So I agreed to try to make this as short as possible. You actually have a small copy of that map on the back page. I'd like to just talk about this very briefly. This is a plan for the 70-acre parcel, commonly known as the Pilch Farm. And what I am proposing is, first of all, to take a piece of the property. If you look at your other map, the small one that I gave you, that'll be helpful in that it shows steep slopes and wetlands. But proposal, first of all, is to take approximately 40 acres, two pieces, roughly 30 acres on the top of Mill Hill, and all of the steep slopes, to put conservation easements on those and protect the steep slopes in the top of Mill Hill. Also, about 10 acres of wetlands to put conservation easements on that and protect that property. There would be an additional parcel sort of in the middle here. Excuse the other words that are written in here, but that's approximately 8 acres, which would be lower slopes and part of the wetlands, and there would be protections on that. So there's approximately 40 acres in this parcel, which I'm proposing to be one parcel, and about 8 to 10 acres in this parcel, which would be one parcel. These would have rather severe restrictions placed on them. And then we do have a couple of local residents that are currently talking with us about purchasing these properties. In addition to that, in green on my map here, I have indicated approximately 10 acres, maybe a little less or a little more, 10 acres that would be gifted to the town of Pine Plains. The gift would be all of the property where the town has already made significant improvements going up to the water tower, and some of the commercial property on the bottom. The purpose of the gift would be, one, for a youth center, community center, whatever property that would take, maybe an acre or so. There would be property that would be for a town park, maybe about 5 acres. And there would be property for town housing. Town housing is something that seems to be very important to everybody here, and it's important to me, and so I'm gifting property to get that started. This would leave approximately 10 to 12 acres of commercial property, which I have outlined here, that would be left behind. The purpose and part of the gifts, of course, is basically to, when this commercial property is developed, to not be